my house to yours. Welcome to EMS at Sea Level. I am joined by Peter Nilsson from Kitron. Peter, great to talk to you. Always a pleasure to catch up. Exciting news coming out from you guys recently. Let's start with the acquisition of DeltaNordic. That seems a very smart and strategic move.
Yeah, it adds a new capability to our group. We've tried to get into that market, which they are really dominant in, which is electrical systems, electrical cabinets, and the whole sort of control boards for combat vehicles. And also now with a new order that they just signed just days before we acquired them for naval vessels doing the same sort of. So very excited about that. Large volumes, a lot of orders for those combat vehicles through BAE Hägglunds as their main customer, about 40% of what they do.
Kind of a tier one supplier, and you've been their EMS supplier in the past.
Yes, we're really close with the customer, and I mean, I had a discussion with their largest customer the day before we signed. And they knew something was going on. They didn't know, and so they presented us and they presented Kitron. Of course, they knew who we were, and the feedback was, "We're so relieved that it was you guys." So,
there you go. That's great to hear, isn't it? Yeah. And when you look at something like that, you know, strategically, when you're looking at acquisitions, it's often geography, it's market, it's capability. It's kind of giving you all those things. Give me a taste for the scale and size of their business and what their footprint and capabilities are.
Well, they have 3 sites. They have 2 in Sweden, just one just outside of Stockholm, and then up north in Sweden, in a place you can even pronounce. It's called Örnsköldsvik. Right, so that's where they have there's a dockyard there, so that's where they're shipbuilding, and that's also where all of these combat vehicles are built. In addition, they have a small unit in Nanjing in China, only 19 employees, and really they serve the mining industry over there, which is another speciality of what they do.
Yeah, it's another interesting market for you. What kind of number of people, sales do they do?
It's about 200 people. It's about 50 million euros for this year, and about 75 million euros for next year.
Wow, that's a substantial growth as well.
I mean, comparing to the orders that we've announced over the past, back in September we announced a 100 million euro order, and yesterday we announced a 55 million follow-on euro order. So compared to the values that in contracts that Kitron wins, it looks kind of small. But the growth for this company and the real volumes are in 27, 28, and 29.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at that time frame, we're probably looking at somewhere in the vicinity of over 400 million euros accumulated over the next 4 years.
Yeah, and that's one of the factors that you get out of those that defense industry, isn't it? That long-termism and those that visibility on contract.
Capability, right? When on Monday next week, our entire business development force and our chief commercial officer and our marketing department is visiting both those facilities in Sweden, so that they can sort of look at, what are they doing? They from the combat vehicle stuff to the really large cabinets that are delivered to the pulp industry, for example, that regulates and monitors processes. So some pretty big stuff that's very complicated. It's impossible to sell that unless you're already doing it.
Yeah, that's right. But it's exciting for your sales and marketing team to get over there and get their teeth into and understand it. And talking about that, what they're doing, the growth you're expecting with those, and those 2 very large orders that you've announced recently, that connects with what you also announced a few days ago, which is this defense investment super cycle that's accelerating growth. You really do have some ambitious targets going forward, and defense is a big driver in that.
It is. I think if we can do 10% CAGR on our non-defense stuff, and it's about 500 million euros both last year and this year, we'll be happy with that. But the defense side, we see a growth above 20% year over year over year until for the next 5 years. And that's going to be driving the entire top line for the company and be allowing us to reach targets of almost doubling the company or more than doubling the company in revenue. So we've set a midterm target of 1.5 billion euros of top line. A lot of that is going to be organic, and then there may be a few acquisitions in it also, but they're not going to be the major driver. It's going to be the customers that have signed up with us that continue to grow with us and stay with us.
Yeah. And that 1.5 billion, that's over the next 3, 4, 5 years. When
we have not set we've set
you've not set a timeline.
But most likely it looks to be on this side of 2030, right? So it could be 2029 or maybe 2028, but.
Exciting times, and it's interesting when we look at what else has been going on in Europe over the last quarter of this year, but this year generally, there's been a lot of movement in that top 5, and a lot of substantial growth and acquisition, and quite a lot of it being driven by Northern Europe. Is that a trend that surprised you? Have the recent acquisitions, excluding yours, obviously, been a surprise to you?
No, not really. I think these are profitable entities. They're looking to expand and grow. Maybe they've struggled also a little bit lately with growth from the regular commercial markets. And some of them, many have not had a stringent dividend policy, and they've been accumulating cash to a very large extent. So with cash, and maybe some of them use some equity also or some debt to finance it, but they have room in their balance sheet, all of them, to do something. Of course, that doesn't mean that from our perspective, right? I think I've had a crash course, an MBA in M&A this last year and this year, because we've looked at so much and had some gone pretty deep into several processes. But at the end of the day, it's sort of refined my strategy for the company, how I want Kitron to be, and we're very much a one Kitron company. We mean same production platforms, same equipment across all sites, same processes, same training for employees with the online training for everybody. Same reward system across the whole group, across the world, when it comes to targets and variable pay compensation and things like that. That's created a mobility in our workforce. So people can seamlessly go over and work from Poland into Sweden, from Sweden into Norway, from Norway down to Lithuania if they have to, and utilizing the expertise we have across the group, and everybody's sort of on a first name basis with each other, because you have that interaction down to the operator level. On a management level, it's easy, but here we have also on the operator level, and that creates. Everybody talks about the Kitron family. And that's the sort of thing that I want to make sure that when we do an acquisition, we have that possibility. Because if somebody gets in trouble, if one site gets in trouble, and they do, right? They can have a customer leave, there could be end of life on a product, and really they were depending on that. If you don't integrate, then those guys are left out there, in the cold, and eventually, it's not going to go well.
No,
but
absolutely.
If you're part of that family, you will refocus business development, and everybody will be working with that site in trouble and do everything they can to quickly backfill it.
Yeah, and that's important for the for the mothership and the whole group generally, isn't it?
Right, because if you do a big investment, right, you're acquiring something, you want it to live for a very long time.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And I think, we've talked about this before, Peter, as you extend your footprint, you build a substantial footprint. That footprint means nothing if you don't have the agility within that footprint to really leverage it. It's just scale. Today. Yeah. Speed and adaptability is completely scale. It was interesting what you said about learning so much about the M&A market. It's in the announcement, so it's not a secret. You have a first-class advisor on that. That's obviously done a good job for you. So
we're very happy with Shaan and his entire team, and they've been supporting us for a year and a half now, actually. So
Yeah. And understanding the market and actually having an M&A advisor that really understands how the EMS market works is
I mean,
hugely valuable.
I
So
would
MP
recommend
Finance
it.
are a good partner.
I would recommend it to anyone instead of having your own person. Here you get a team, and I mean the cost is competitive, right? And you
Yeah.
get somebody who's sort of really focused on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Shaan is incredibly knowledgeable about what's going on in the EMS industry, and we talk regularly. And I really enjoy his insights on what's going on. So as we close out 2025, it's been a good year for you. Next year looks exciting, particularly in the defense sector. Interested that you talk about 10% CAGR in the non-defense sector as well. I think it's probably a little bit harder there than it is elsewhere. But what do you think are the big challenges and opportunities for 26?
I think the opportunities are in we have 5 market sectors, and we see the strongest growth potential in the connectivity market sector, about maybe upwards 20%. Because product life cycles tend to be short, there's a lot of innovation. So if you have a good product out there, you're launching good product, you'll take market share, and hopefully you're with Kitron, so the business will grow very, very rapidly. Industrial sector, we're starting to see some of it revive also, and over the past 6 months, I've seen some strength in it. It should grow probably maybe 5% next year. The electrification sector, it's a lot of grid and energy transmission and energy storage solutions. So there's a strong drive on in the US right now, driven by data centers. Obviously, everybody's about data centers. So, but energy storage there is a big part of that data center because of the fluctuations in the grid there. With an energy storage unit, you can get a stable flow of electricity and power into your data centers. And then also utilize sort of green options with solar and wind to recharge these if you want to.
Yeah.
So that's a big driver on electrification. But overall, I see flat on electrification because it's grown so much. So it's sort of just stable right now, around 170 million euros for us within electrification. Medical devices start to see some growth. It's our smallest area. It hasn't grown as fast as the others over years. So it's only around 8% of what we do. There we're looking at doing some maybe strategic acquisitions, focus on somebody that does high level assembly of medium to high level medical products, or a carve-out, right? We have customers that they shouldn't be doing manufacturing. We should be doing all of it for them, right? So we'll put that on the agenda and see if we can make something happen there.
Yeah, I think the carve-out option is fascinating, and I think it's one of these things that we need to be constantly thinking about: is how do we make that currently in-source business, outsource business, because it can be such a successful partnership for both you and for the customer, and they can focus much more on what they're really good at, which is product development, market penetration, and all those good things. So yeah, we certainly want to continue to preach the EMS option to as many people as we can. Well, congratulations again, Peter. Look forward to watching what you do in 26 and look forward to seeing you very soon in the new year. But in the meantime, thanks so much for your time.
Hey, thanks. See you soon.